ever wonder what your doctor wishes you would do before having a telemedicine appointment with them? After all, they are meeting with patients almost daily for telehealth visits, so they know what makes a successful appointment. Listen as Dr. Shammo shares her advice on how to prep to make the most of your time together.
When preparing for a televisit, I think it's so important to know whether or not you would have a connectivity issue. A lot of times I'm trying to connect with the patient, and then we realize that their phone isn't equipped to handle a televisit. I mean, that is kind of disappointing to find that out a minute before you try to connect. So then that visit becomes a telephone encounter, which is, again, less satisfying for some patients. I mean, it does the job, but again, it doesn't provide me with the exam, part of the exam that I'd like to do, at least that way.
If you're unsure on what platform to use for your appointment, or if you have to download an application, it is worth asking your care team ahead of time, as Dr. Shammo says. Most institutions have a person that can assist you with setup prior to the appointment, especially if it is your first virtual appointment.
To make sure that you have a blood draw, or if your physician would like to have a blood draw. In my case, I always like to have a CBC beforehand, or perhaps a chemistry or maybe iron studies or what have you, to have that so that there would be something to discuss and make sure that your physician has had those results before you have the visit. Sometimes it is also disappointing that if a patient thinks I've received those results when I actually hadn't, and I have no control over that. That would be the other piece.
Take control of your visit by asking staff ahead of time if you can have a blood draw or other testing, and that those results are shared with the doctor prior to your visit. That way you can discuss them live. You can typically request this by calling or using a patient communication portal. Just like with in-person visits, have your questions ready or items you would like to talk about in order to utilize your time effectively.